Swimmers, but most of us enjoy heading to the pool, especially with the warm weather we've had recently and the warm weather on the way.
And new federal requirement makes sure that public and hotel pools are handicap accessible. Joining us now live via Skype is Dr. William Freeman, president of the American Disabilities Association. And thank you for joining us. Can we talk about these new requirements for pools and how this came about?
Chris, the requirements are that basically people with disabilities can have the same access to pools and other facilities that everyone else has. And those requirements have been in place since the early 1990s. The idea being, more recently, we've discovered that the more active and physically active we are, the healthier we become. And that applies not only to the general population, but people with disabilities. So it's more important than ever to hold down healthcare costs and have a healthier society, to have pools and other places of public accommodation that are accessible to people with physical and other disabilities.
So what changes are we talking about? How do we make these pools accessible to everybody?
The single biggest change for most pools is probably a sort of hydraulic lift that they use to help people that are in wheelchairs to get in and out of the pool. Some pools are designed with slopes that actually enter the pool so that people with mobility impairments but who can walk can actually walk into the pool. The Lakeshore Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama is a Paralympic training site, and it has one of the most accessible pools that we've seen and is similar to what you would call an accessible pool. You just need some basic items there, and the secondary thing that's most important is the people that actually have to operate those lifts with people with disabilities need to be properly and adequately trained so that everybody is safe and can enjoy their experience at the pool.
And Dr. Freeman, what happens if the hotels and resorts say they can't afford to make these changes? It sounds like this is not something that can happen overnight.
Well, and it's not something they've been expected to do overnight either. And there'll come a point where the government has to say, we've had 20 years, over 20 years at this point, for you to become compliant. You knew this was coming. If you can't comply, then you need to look at shutting down the facility. We would hope that families, this would be a teachable moment for parents to have conversations with their children and for children to have conversations with their parents so that they look at the pools and the facilities that they go to because they have friends with disabilities. And the question should be, can everybody enjoy this facility? And if you see a facility isn't accommodating people with disabilities and people with disabilities can't get in and out of the facility, bring it to the attention of the people operating the facility, and if changes aren't made, actually quit using that facility and let it be known why you're stopping using the facility. So boycott the facilities that are not handicapped accessible.
Dr. William Freeman, president of the American Disabilities Association, thank you for the information and taking the time to talk to us this afternoon. We certainly appreciate it. Coming up next.